Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic Gathering online league. We're back with Eldrazi Ramp on the draw for game one. Could I keep this hand? I mean, we have on turn one 8 hits. On turn two, we have 4 hits. I mean, 4 hits, 2 looks, 8 hits, 1 draw. It's not the worst odds I've ever played. It's not great either, though. I'm mulligan again, especially because we're in the blind. This is much better. We will keep. We want temple. We want temple. We want the K command. Maybe pitch the ghost quarter and the Sire, though honestly, Sire being able to resolve early is pretty good. Let's run it back like this and pass in full. Watergrave tapped. Could be one Shitong. Temple, pass. And hold on the off chance it's relevant. Island. Frog. Overlord. Could be Esper Blink. It is Living End. Understood. Alright, and they picked up Shardless Agent. Overlord trigger will always yield that. And draw. Another temple. We're going to hold K command. We do need to remember if they cascade into a living end that we do not want to make spawns here. Paying cost. Overlord. Picks up, I imagine, a Street Wraith if they're looking for lands. Generascent. Surveil. And go to end step. K command, ramp and scry draw. Done. Malevolent Rumble, Commercial District. Don't care much for District right now. Rumble's not bad for later. Right now we're looking at Myco Spawn kicked into a Bajuka Bog. District to Yard. Or District to Bottom. Rumble top draw. And draw. Lab. Stomp. Shock. And Myco kick. Myco kick, Watery Grave, and Bajuka Bog. Yield all. And pass. We'll hold on the off chance it's relevant. Paying cost for Ent cycle. There's the forest, land for turn, and another Overlord the Bailmerk, sure. Picks up a Subtlety or a Cavero, which I believe is Superior Spider-Man. Picks up Ent. And we'll pass. Overlord triggers. That is a lot of Overlords. We'll draw. Sprawl. Let's go to combat first. Swing with Myco. And attempt to cast Rumble. That is a World Breaker. That is a Myco spawn. That is a K return. We can't cast Mycospawn this turn. So my initial thought is to pick up Mycospawn, maybe? I mean, if they decide to go with Living End, let's say, they give us back a World Breaker. We can then sire a 7 Death and just sweep the board. Alternatively, you could just choose none of them, and that would be acceptable too. The Mycospawn will get cleared by Sire and the K return. So we'll pick up the Myco. And I will play a Temple and pass. We'll hold. End cycle. As long as it's an untapped land, they can cast the Charlotte's Agent in hand. There's Endurance, Pitching Speaker, target my yard. In that case, I'll pull World Breaker back to hand and sacrifice the Bojuka Bog. And yield all. They will Charlotte's Agent, Cascade into Living End. Yield all. Comes in as a copy of Mycospawn. Oh, it exiles it. I see. That's interesting. We'll yield all. Myco down. Endurance trigger. And passing 2 in hand. Overlord triggers will draw. Second Myco. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. So we can do a non-kicked Myco, ramp with my last Eldrazi temp. It would, however, mean that we need to imprint the Breaker, which is not the end of the world. I will play the Lab, imprint the Breaker, cast a Mycospawn, yield all for a Temple, cast a Sire 7 Death, and pass, and pass. Not dead just yet, friend. Street Race cycle, down to 13. Attacking. So that makes me think they have another Living End set up. So if that's the case, how do we want to proceed? I would like the Myco and Yard in that case. And probably block 5. And block... I don't know. Debating on... We would take 3, 6, 7... Or 3, 6, 9, 13. 13 mitigate 7... would be 6. So I could block the Charlotte's Agent here, let the Mycospawn die, because this clearly demonstrates to me that they have another Living End, would be my thought. And I can't not block the Sire, so I'll just block the Charlotte's Agent then. Feed them the Myco spawn. Because if they don't living end, then I'll just attack in, right? Hedge Maze Surveil. Halo Forger to yard. And there's the Charlotte's Agent. And there's the Living End. There's Halo Forger. Targets the Living End, but chooses not to play it. Overlord's trigger. We'll draw. Ugin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can do some interesting things then. We can Ugin target Overlord. We can then block. Yeah, Ugin seems right. Cast Ugin. Ugin target Overlord. Yield all. Plus Ugin, draw card. Do we play the Misty Rainforest? We do. And we'll pass. No attacks. So we can block the Street Wraith. Ugin will take 7 down to 2. But if Ugin on board, they're in a bit of trouble. Because next turn we'll just be able to start exiling. Yep. All at Ugin. We go to blocks. Block the Street Wraith. Myco spawn is down. Ugin is at 2. Paying cost for Charlotte's Agent. We'll yield all. How many living ends do you have left? Fails. So no more living ends. End step, triggers, Misty Rainforest fetch, Commercial District Surveil, Sprawl to yard, and draw. Cavern of Souls. How much mana do I have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 minus 3 would be 8. So we can Myco and Worldbreaker. So I'll plus Ugin. Speaker. So with Speaker, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we can go Cavern of Souls, name Eldrazi. We can then cast Speaker and confirm one more time. We have 3 plus 8's 11, 13. We cast Speaker. Speaker will enter. We pitch Utopia Sprawl. We grab Emrakul. And we can grab Emrakul. Get rid of the Overlord. Yep. Cast Emrakul. Ugin, target this Overlord. Yield all. They'll fetch down the 12. Lethal's now on board. Surveil. gain some life up to 15. And then our turn, comrade. We draw into an endurance. So what we can do is endurance, pick up endurance off the overlord, and then exile endurance to endurance, and then hit their own yard. That would put Living End back in, though, and we have seen 3 Living Ends. I'm not sure if we actually want to do that. I guess we'll have to wait and see. We definitely want to get rid of the overlord. We'll block with Emrakul, and then I guess attack in with Shardless Agent. Yes. So let's do that to start. Go to main, go to combat, and attack with Overlord, attack with Shardless Agent. We block, we block. Yes. Overlord triggers. So we can target artifact or enchantment opponent controls. Not what I wanted. I suppose, yeah, we could just go endurance, pitch endurance. Is the thought right now. And then hit their own yard. Not sure if I want to do that, though. At the very least, we want to endurance, target endurance. Up to 1 target player. Up to 1 is important. So we will pull endurance. Okay. Then go to blocks. We block and block. So then we will exile endurance to play endurance. I'm going to say no one's yard. Evoke, yield all, yield all. And at that point, I will pass. So, to be clear, Ugin will die here if they attack all out. However, opponent will die on the crackback if they do. So, they shouldn't be able to attack all in. Unless they have another blocker. Combat. Attacking all at Ugin. So we can block, but Ugin still dies. So in that case, we will block, and I say block, and that should be fine. Yeah? Yeah. There's Overlord. I don't think they have a Halo Forger. Picks up Endurance. Sure. We'll draw. Devour. So we can hit the Overlord and we win on the spot. We can use Breaker, hit the Overlord, we win on the spot. So again, we have access to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 minus 5 would be 9. So we can kick Mycospawn to start. Mycospawn kick, hit the Overgrown Tomb. Grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bajukabog. Bajukabog target you. Yield all. And Devour. Devour target Overlord. Go to combat. Swing for 15. Opponent will scoop it up. We'll take the win. Alright. So, let's take a look at a Living End list. Living End, oh, Living End. You definitely have seen a resurgence. Mainly in the Soul Tie version. let's see. Sideboard-wise, we're assuming Betrayal, of course. Was it 3 living in main, not 4? Yes, 3 is correct. So Emrakul out, Sire out, K-Return out. Cavernous Souls I don't think is necessary. Unless for some reason they were to bring in Mystical Dispute. So we want Bauble, we want Cage, we want Trinosphere 6, Jailer. We could drop Ugin, but we don't want to because we've already trimmed out 4 of our 12. 7-mana value spells. Opponent plays 2 basic, so we could keep Ghost Quarter. We could keep this as is. Alternatively, we could probably cut... I guess with the Superior Spider-Man that we saw, there is some thought to keeping Bajuka Bog. Cavernous Souls really is not necessary, though. We can dump Cavernous Souls, bring in a flute would be a thought, at least. Trimmerumble, bring in the second flute, and run it back like this. That seems reasonable. Let's run it back. Oh, alright. So we have 8 hits, 2 draws to see a soul land. If not a soul land, a talisman would also get us to K command mana on turn 3. We can make this work. Not my favorite hand, but is workable. Not to mention on turn 2, we have access to Speaker. Ice Till's not bad, but we do need another land. Ideally, though, we are going to want to see a lab here at this point. Misty Rainforest fetch 19. Surveil. Street Wraith to Yard. We'll pass. Paying cost 4. Ent. Cycle. Breeding Pool. Tapped or shocked? Shocked. Why shock Breeding Pool? Ghost Quarter. Okay. Well, that's intriguing. I will play Sanctum, Sprawl for green, and we will pass. I mean, next turn we can start Ghost Quarter looping. Curator Cycle, we'll pass. Polluted Delta, fetch 16. Are we going to cascade into a Betrayal? Opponent says Charlotte's Agent into Betrayal. Opponent's going to be very sad with what they see. A lot of medium bodies with a lot of cash triggers that they don't get the benefit of. Maybe they could argue Ice Till or 6, maybe. Chooses Ice Till. Can pick up a Polluted Delta and mill. Sure. Subtlety to Yard. Unfortunately, we can't deal with their Ice Till, or rather my Ice Till. So we are going to start by playing my Ice Till. Ice Till. Play Ghost Quarter and mill. Bajuka Bog. Target you and yield. Flute to Yard. Bog will resolve. Unfortunately, still have a Polluted Delta. I guess I could have Ghost Quarter target Polluted Delta forcing them to fetch first. That is actually a consideration that we could have done. Honestly, I probably should have. It would have stopped them from ramping. I didn't think about that at the time. Next turn, we can play Ugin, though, which is important. And get rid of their Ice Still. Or rather, my Ice Still that they're using. Mortuary, Surveils, and Overlord. Or their Mills and Overlord. Surveils and Overlord, too. Mill's a Polluted Delta. Or rather, they're going to fetch with the mill in the stack. They might be worried about hitting their remaining lands. We can Ghost Quarter our Bog, which is another thought. We also can Ghost Quarter on land and play Ugin. And mill, Living End. So they should have probably only brought in one Living End, or kept one Living End. Wistfulness, blue. Draw 2, discard a card. Discards a Living End, so that's the second Living End that we've seen. So they must have kept both Living Ends. Charlotte's Agent finds another Living End. Okay. Well, that is intriguing. Not much we can do about that. So they kept all Living Ends and brought 2 Betrayals. Normally, they would cut Living End for Betrayal. So I'm surprised to see that. So Living End will resolve. There's not much we can do in that regard. So 2 Overlords, an Agent, and a Wistfulness. Resolve in full. They can pick up Endurance. That way if they do Living End again. And then a Subtlety, I'd imagine. Yep, picks up Subtlety. That makes sense to me. Well, now we need a land for Ugin. We'll draw. There's a land for Ugin. So they do have the Subtlety, however, which means they can put Ugin on top. Is that okay? How much damage are we looking at right now if Ugin does not land? 5, 7, 13, 15. That is okay. Stomping Ground Shock. Ugin. Sanctum trigger. Ugin target Overlord. They should wait to Subtlety until after my Sanctum trigger to see if I'm willing to crack it. That would be a smart play. There's Subtlety pitching Wistfulness. Yield all. And I'm going to keep Ugin on top. I'm going to say no to Sanctum trigger, and we'll pass in full. The concern now, of course, is that Overlord will pick Subtlety back up, and that I won't have enough to survive. We'll see, though, depending on what they pick up with the Overlord. Keep in mind they still have an Endurance in hand that we have not seen them do anything with. Yeah, Wistfulness and Deceit being multicolored is pretty good, or hybrid is pretty good for Subtlety Endurance. I mean, Grief was still around, it'd be even better. Thank God it's not. So Still thinking of what they're picking up, and they pick up Shardless Agent. Okay. We're down to 3, as we anticipated. 6 cards in hand. They could very well try and... They can't Living End again. So what is this? I guess if they Betrayal me... Another Overlord picks up Subtlety. Okay. So... That now means that we can't play Ugin. We'll draw. Instead, what I'm going to have to do is play Kozilek's Command and put X equals 5, exile Overlord, and ramp for 5 blockers. We need to now hope they don't have a force. We need to ramp and exile. Ramp, exile, and done. Sanctum trigger. Keep in mind they have Endurance still in hand. I'll say no to the Sanctum trigger. And we have 5 bodies on board. I will pass and hold. We also can K command X equals 3 hit a Shardless Agent if we really want to. It's a consideration. Overlord will trigger. Overlord will pick up Endurance. And we'll go to blockers. So we'll block, we'll block, we'll block, and block. How many forces have we seen? 1, 2. Only 2, suggesting there still might be some in deck. So I have to be mindful of that. Now, there wasn't one in hand on our turn, otherwise they would have forced the K return. So at this point, we very well could go after the Shardless Agent, which would mean 1 less attacker on board. I think I hold the K command, though, and just take the damage at this, or don't take the damage, we'll just block at this point. Alright. Paying cost. There's Endurance. Endurance targets self, so that way they don't mill out. Yep, that makes sense. This also means Living End is back in deck, as is Betrayal. Sporific Springs, tapped. And we know that they have a Subtlety in hand that they can hardcast. Second Ugin doesn't really matter here. We need to hold. If they cast Subtlety on end step, we'll have to exile it. No attacks. End step, paying cost. For Endurance, Endurance will resolve. Targets me. So no Subtlety. We'll once again ramp and exile Overlord of the Baelmerk. And done. Sanctum trigger. I'll again say no. There's a Flare of Denial, and I'll concede. Okay. Yeah, we're waiting for just something to counter our K commands, and unfortunately the flare did do the job. So I'll bring back in the Rumble, trim the Gemstone, and run it back. Yeah, definitely was not expecting to see both Living End and Betrayal. Usually it's either or, so I'm curious on that decision making. On the play for game 2, I will keep. So this is actually really good for me, because this cuts off Betrayal, and this slows them down. So we have good acceleration. Opponent belongs down to 5. We're in a good position. I would like to see more acceleration so we can get to Ugin. That would be ideal. We reveal Devour. We trigger. And we see a Myco spawn. I will take the Myco. Lab. Imprint. Cast. Cast. And pass. And pass. Now we don't need to play Trinisphere on 2. We can actually wait until our turn 3. Opponent will Surveil. Hedge Maze to Yard. Stomping Ground Shock. And cast Myco Spawn. Yield all. I will grab Temple. And pass. And pass. Watergrave, shock 18, pain cost 4. Overlord the Balemerc picks up Subtlety or Ent. Picks up Subtlety. Overlord triggers, and we'll draw. Another Temple. Let's go to combat. Attack with Myco. And cast Trinisphere and pass. There's Force pitching Force. Okay. There's Overlord. What do we pick up? Picks up Speaker. Land for turn. Tapped. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know they have Subtlety in hand. We could play Devour to pressure, but I'd rather go for the Ugin. Overlord's trigger. We'll draw. Myco. Myco will kick. Myco kick. Hit Freyalise. And Bajuka Bog. Target opponent. Yield all. Go to combat. Swing for 3. Opponent's down to 12. We now have a 2-turn clock. Island for turn. And passing. Overlord trigger. We'll draw. 6. Let's go to combat. Swing for 6. Down to 6. Cast Ugin. Ugin target Overlord. For those who might be confused by Grafdigger's Cage in this matchup, the benefit of Grafdigger's Cage is it stops inevitable betrayal. And so right now, we are playing around that possibility as we saw a 3-2 split in game 2. So while it does not stop Living End, it does stop them from betraying me and getting bodies on board, meaning that there's a potential dead card that they could cascade into. But opponent will scoop it up and we will take the win. Alright, we'll be back for match number 2. Alright, and we're back for match 2 on the play for game 1. I will keep. We are assuming that opponent is on energy, so a K return hand seems pretty decent. Especially as we get 2 looks here for another land. Not to mention Rumble. Well, Commercial District and Surveil, Temple Top, and draw. The fact, though, that they didn't play anything on turn 1 does sketch me out quite a bit, though. How would we like to proceed? So we could grab a second forest. And I think that's probably right. Either that or a lab. If we grab the lab and we find a 7-man value spell, we can kick the MTGO. Regardless, as long as the spawn survives, we can cast the ice still. I think we'll grab the lab. And we hold. What are you playing, friend? Down to 19. Surveil. Could still be energy. Alternatively, it could be Ruby Storm, but that is energy. So they didn't have a turn 1 play. Interesting. So what's your turn 2 look like? Down to 18. For a plains. Casting a Johnny. So, I mean, I have half a mind just to K return the Johnny out and call it a day. We'll draw Misty Rain. So, yeah, I mean, that seems like a reasonable play here. Alternatively, we could just play the Ice Till. It's pretty hard for them to deal with the Ice Till effectively, since it is a 4 toughness creature. But I don't really want to deal with this as a Johnny if I can help it. Normally, I would want to get rid of it at sorcery speed, though. This one's a bit weird. I'm tempted just to go for the Ice Till route, to be completely honest. Let's go with Ice Till. This might come back and bite me, we'll see. We'll play Verdant Catacombs or the Forest. Let's go for the Forest and Mill. And that's a Ghost Quarter to Yard. And we'll pass. And we'll pass in full. Attacking with the cat, no blocks. We'll take 7, or take 2 down to 17. Take 7 for 1 cat token, that would be a lot. Can you flip the Ajani? Paying cost, Thraben Charm. You can't, but you can get rid of the Ice Till. Interesting. There's a Guide of Souls to Yard. We'll draw. So at this point we could MTGO kick. Call it there. We could play Ice Till and play 2. I'm inclined to go MTGO kick. They don't have a red permanent on board yet, so I think that might be the right call. Alternatively, we could MTGO, no kick, and sweep, which I think is what I like more here. So we are going to play MTGO, grab Shifting Woodland, play Cavernous Soul, name Eldrazi, and K return out. This will now add a type to Yard. So Shifting Woodland is now online, and I'm presenting 16 points of damage on board currently. We're going to pass. Galvanic Discharge, the MTGO out. That's fine. The question is, can they kill me before I attack with them? Attack with Emrakul twice. I'm not confident they can. Flage Helix target me. So Flage does present some lethal lines we need to be mindful of. We'll draw. So how much mana do I have access to right now? Well, actually, hold up. Opponent plays 3 basics. Oh, hello. I have an interesting proposition for you, opponent. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We will play Ice Till. I will pick up Ghost Quarter and mill. Ghost Quarter, target Elegant Parlor. Ghost Quarter and mill. Ghost Quarter, target Elegant Parlor. And fail to find. Perfect. At that point, I'll pass. 3 cards in hand. And pass. They do have their Arena to the Hasty Flage. Well, that was what I was trying to avoid. But unfortunately, they did have it regardless. So now, I mean, if Flage attacks, Flage can double Helix Ice Till and hit me for 6 down to 8. Helix target Ice Till or target me? Targets Ice Till. Targets Ice Till and down to 8. What do we draw here? We draw Sprawl. Sprawl ain't doing too much, to say the least. So I will play a land for turn. We can activate Shifting Wood only once. I was trying to see if maybe there was a world where I could activate it twice, but the answer is unequivocally no. Because otherwise we could potentially Ice Till, Shifting, and then Ghost Quarter, pick them off. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Yeah, we are short. So we'll just Sprawl for green. And at this point, I will pass. This is uncomfortable. Ragavan dashed, and that's fine. We'll take 5 down to 3. Oh. Well, opponent just created a very awkward situation for me. So I can't kill Flage now. Flage will Helix target me down to 5. Because Ragavan will connect and pilfer, I can no longer kill Flage. So instead, I'll have to target Ice Till or Mycospawn, what have you, and block the Flage instead. So Ice Till's better than Myco because Myco dies to discharge. So we're down to 5. We then, because this is escape, 5, yeah. Block, we block. Down to 3, Ragavan connects. So the reason why we don't choose Emrakul Oh, I guess we could have chosen Emrakul. Sorry. I was thinking that they had one extra mana. Ugh. Yeah, I miscounted. I was thinking they had one extra mana where they could have then escaped the Flage. Does it matter they have another Flage? No, I could have went Emrakul. You're right. I could have blocked the Flage. I would have died next turn. Well, we'll draw. No. I guess it would not have mattered because we are dead anyways. We could not have shifting ice till land hold because we played a land for turn. So we would have went 1, 2, 3, 4 ice till land. Oh no, we could have. You're right. We could have went ice till. I guess we wouldn't have been able to go ghost quarter, which is what I kind of wanted to do. Regardless, we die. What did Ragvan hit? Lab? We've seen so many lands. We do concede at this point. So we misplayed on a few positions here. Yes, I could have. No, because we didn't play the sprawl. We played the sprawl, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Leaving 1, 2. No. So we would have only had 4 mana left. So no, we could not have Ice Tilled. The sprawl did not exist prior to me passing the turn. It was in my hand. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, leaving back 1, 2, 3. We did not have 6 plus shifting. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shifting. We played a land for that 6. So we only had one additional land. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 for shifting. Shifting untapped as Ice Till. Meaning shifting, district, temple, 1 land. Meaning that we'd have to tap the shifting in order to activate it. We would only have had 8 mana at that point. So we could not have shifting target Ice Till, then also shifting to block. We'd have been 1 mana short. Because we had played a land for turn. And we only get to play 1 additional land with the Ice Till. The sprawl was not attached to the forest prior to. So that wouldn't have worked. We would have blocked. We still would have been at 3. We'd have drawn a dead card. Unfortunate. Okay. Well, let's go sideboard regardless. So yeah, at least the misplay on blocking with shifting as Emrakul. I'm trying to think if there would have been an out, even if we had maybe try and go for a World Breaker. I don't know. But Jukabog stays, Counter Soul's out, Gemstone out, and Ghost Quarter kind of failed me there. We will trim the Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter is almost the play, but they had the Arena in hand. Yeah. I'm trying to. I just realized, could I have. If I went for the white source. White, no. It still would have worked for them. No. We can make this work, yes. Opponent keeps opening 7 as well. We'll pass with the Misty Rain. We are looking for a turn 2 play, whether that be Speaker, whether that be Rumble, K-Return, etc. Sacred Foundry Shock down to 17 for Ocelot Pride. Pride is fine. We will crack and surveil. Devour TR. That is not a turn 2 play. We'll draw. Bajukabog, still not a turn 2 play. So we will simply go Shifting Woodland Pass, I think is correct. Shifting Woodland Pass. Thankfully no Blood Moon on 2 from opponent. Ocelot Pride will connect, of course. There's Damping Sphere, which now means this Ugin Lab is dead, so we're behind an additional turn. So we'll Bajuka Bog next turn. So we're looking for a turn 2/3 play. That's an Emrakul. Bajuka Bog, target you, and pass. Well, Ice Till, then ramp. We'll pass. Yeah, that Damping Sphere really slowed us down there. Damn. Floodstrand, fetch 17. For a Plains. Worst case scenario here is a Blood Moon. Ranger Captain is fine. Picks up what? Ragavan is fine. Attack for 2 down to 16. And draw. Myco. So we can lab. No imprint. Myco and Ice Till serve similar purposes here. The main difference is Myco spawn will die to a Discharge or Flage. We'll go Ice Till. Pick up Misty Rain and mill. Temple to Yard, and we'll pass. Next turn we can kick a Myco spawn if we want. We also would be able to play Sire, which is likely what we'll do. Land for turn. 1 Ragavan in hand. Thraben Charm would get me here. There's the Thraben Charm. Ice Till out. Arid Mesa fetch. Are we dashing the Ragavan? No, you can't dash the Ragavan because you are taxed. You can, however, cast the Ragavan. So we'll take 6 down to 10. And that Raven Charm was quite unfortunate. Second main. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, this makes sense because now they have City's Blessing. We'll fetch. Stomping Ground tapped. And pass. Would love a K return here. Funny enough, they actually could have hasted the Ragavan. If they had used Plains Thraben Charm. Oh no, Arena of Glory would have only generated 1. They would have needed 1 more mana. So they would have been off regardless. Ranger Captain of Eos, that's fine. You find a lab. So we play the lab. No imprint. We will kick Myco. Myco kick, hit Arena of Glory. Do not need any other creatures attacking me right now. I will grab Sanctum of Ugin or Forest at this point. I suppose a Forest, I think. Alright. Can we make it a turn? We can block the Ragavan or block the Ocelot Pride. So that's 5 down to 4 or down to 6. And the question now is Path the Exile. I was not expecting that. Grab another Forest. Ragavan will pilfer. What does Ragavan pilfer? We're down to 2. Ragavan pilfers are formidable speaker that they cannot cast unless they have a land. Pride trigger. We draw. You have an orange chant? Jesus. Yeah, that really put a damper on things. Opponent had all the answers. The Thraben Charm for the Ice Tail, the Damp Sphere to slow us down by a turn, the Path to Exile to remove a blocker, Orange Chant to lock me out of the Sire. Yeah, nothing much I can do about that. We'll concede. Oofta. Alright, we'll be back for match number 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the draw for game 1. This feels like Red Belcher. We'll draw. Rumble. So we will start with Lab, Imprint, Target, Ugin. Pass. And hold. Yeah, I'm pretty certain this is Red Belcher. Which means we likely are going to lose on 3. There's Shatter Skull, pass, and hold. We draw. Lab, so we can K command 2. Though I think we should rumble. We'll shock. Looking for Myco Spawn. We rumble. We whiff on the Myco Spawn. We take the speaker, I suppose. Adds 1, 2, 3, 4 types to yard. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still 3 short. We could add another 2 types, but I still don't think that'd be enough. Take the speaker. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Still be 2 short. We'll pass. And hold. But I'm not confident we're going to get a 3rd turn. Because all they need here is land, ritual, Ironcrag, Belcher, Manamorphose. Okay. Draws a card. Ritual. Ironcrag. Storm Scale Scion. Okay. Well, we're not dead yet. Keywords there. We'll draw. Do I have a solution? I don't believe so. So that's representing 28 damage on board. We can imprint for 6 mana, which means we are short on Sire to block. We can't exile any of the Stormscale Scions, and I don't think we have anything with reach that I would be able to grab off a speaker and play. We're short on Emrakul as well. So I think that is a concession. We'll concede. Oofta. So this is Belcher. Lost for 1. So K returns are out. Bajuka Bog is out. Camera Souls is out. Gemstone is out. Ghost Quarter definitely stays. We are going to want Trinisphere. Flute. Trying to remember if Vexing Bauble. No, Vexing Bauble shouldn't be relevant here. Jailer is semi-relevant. Jailer. And I think that's it. Yes. Let's run it back. On the play for game 2, we will keep we have some good acceleration into Rumble. We also have a K command primed. Opponent mulligans down to 6. Lab, imprint Ugin, cast Talisman, and pass. And pass. Shatter Skull. Strike. That does mean they could theoretically win next turn. Myco. Rumble. Temple. K command X equals 2. Done. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lab bottom. Talisman bottom, draw. I was hoping for a flute there, maybe. We'll hold on the off chance it's relevant. But do we die on 2 to the Strike It Rich acceleration? Pain cost, Manamorphose. Opponent's thinking hard here. Hopefully not doing math to see if they can kill me. Ritual. Obsidian Charmaw. Was not expecting that one. Charmaw will resolve. You take the lab. We'll pass. We'll draw. Ice Still. So we can do a few things here. I'm going to ramp and scry draw. Well, so I could Myco Spawn. I could Ghost Quarter. Be missing a green source. Damn. I'm going to ramp and scry draw. And done. X equals 3. Sire. Sire actually might not be bad. So Misty bottom. Sire top. Forest top. Draw. Sprawl. For green. And pass. And pass. Land. Combat 4 down to 15. We draw. So we can Myco kick. 1, 2, 3. No, it's not enough to where we can Myco kick and Ice Still. So we will Myco kick. Leave up the green. 1, 2. Myco kick. hit Shatterskull, grab Ghost Quarter, Utopia Sprawl for green, and Ghost Quarter target. Declines. We'll pass. No attacks. And pass. Attack for 4, down to 11. Passing, we draw Trinisphere. Sire, go to combat. Bone scoops it up, we'll take the win. Okay, so Gemstone in, Rumble out, run it back. We were definitely close to losing there, I think. But thankfully, the Charmal was not the play for them. Yeah, can't play Magic and don't have lands. Thankfully, it worked out in our favor. Now, I wasn't aware that Red Belcher played Charmal. I knew that they sometimes would play Blood Moon, but Charmal was an unexpected appearance. I will keep. This is a turn 2 Trinisphere. I will keep. I reveal. I will pass. Love to see a lab off top. Do you have another Strike It Rich? You have a Wild Canter. Why? Why is that a thing here? I will grab the lab. Lab. Imprint. Cast. And pass. Opponent has ramp. I'll tell you what, they have the ramp. The question is, do they have the turn 2 kill? I can't recall a Red Belcher list that ran Canter, so that's really surprising. Stronghold tapped. Canter attacks, that's fine. I mean, I think we just have to go for the Trinisphere line. So we Forest, Sprawl, Green, Sprawl, Green, Trinisphere, and pass. Next turn we can kick, and next turn we can Ghost Quarter. And I guess if they have untapped land into Ironcrag, we could still lose. Here's the problem. Oh no. Don't tell me you have the Ironcrag win for Belcher. They also could just jam Belcher, yeah. Attacking first, down to 17. Casting. Ritual. Ritual. So is this Stormscale into Ironcrag and a Stormscale Scion? Yeah, that'll do it. And that's 28 damage. So it comes down to this draw then. So even if I had gone Mycospawn to Ghost Quarter, they still would have had the Stormscale line. I will draw. What do we need to draw here? We need to specifically draw into Sire 7 Death. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or Ugin, I think. We draw. Holy hell. Okay, we're not out just yet. So 2, 5, 6, 7. Wooded Foothills fetch. Down to 16. Forest. Sire 7 Death. And pass. And pass. Pain cost. Strike it rich. No attacks. Draw. Jailer. Myco kick. Myco kick. Target stronghold. Yield all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In order to grab Devour, I need a temple. So we'll need to go temple to... We can't play jailer this turn, so we go temple. Yes. Play temple. And we can't attack, because it'll just double block. We'll pass. No attacks. And pass. Next turn we Devour Stormscale and can start attacking in with Devour the following turn. They attack. Why? We block. Can you somehow buff it? Pain cost. Yep, that's really unfortunate. Down to 5. No fucking way. The wild canter damage actually is going to be relevant here. Because, no, actually it still won't. Because, okay, so what do we need to draw here? Another Sire? Is that my only option? Sire might be my only option. We draw. No. We Devour a hit, Stormscale Sign, we take 10. Wow. So if we had instead went Myco Ghost Quarter, hit the Mystic Peak, then they wouldn't have been able to cast the Legion Leaders. That's so ridiculous. Yep, we dead. Alright. Well, let's scoop it up. Alright. We'll be back for match number 4. Alright. And we're back for match 4 on the play for game 1. No. We have 8. Okay, so we have 8 hits for K command. Sure. 8 hits. 12. 12 hits. Yeah, why not? We'll keep. Why not? We'll play the numbers. Because even if we just draw land, which expands the number of hits by a significant margin, we can turn 2 Bajuga Bog, turn 3 into Ice Till, play the land, play the Ice Till. Ideally, it's a fetch. If it's a fetch, even better. We ramp. It's workable. It's workable. Of course, if we whiff on either a turn 2 play or on a soul land or land, then we're in trouble. But we should have 22 lands in deck. 21 hits for lands. Yeah, so we should be fine. We'll shock, sprawl for green. 4 hits specifically for Ice Till on 2. 8 hits for K Command or Myco Spawn. We also do have another 4. Are we going from Belcher to Belcher? Seriously? So we really want to go Myco Spawn into Ghost Quarter into Ice Till, is what we want to do then. Like, I don't think blue Belcher is actually that bad of a matchup, but red Belcher, like, plays, as I've talked about before, as, like, a mashup. Is that a Spell Snare, maybe? We'll draw. Oof. That is not what we wanted to see. Alright, so at this point, we really need an untapped land next turn. That way we can go Myco Spawn to Ghost Quarter. So we need an untapped land, Myco into Ghost Quarter. Then we can go Ice Till and Ghost Quarter loop. Mind you, that doesn't necessarily guarantee us the win, given the Lotus Bloom currently suspended. Alright, we're passing. And praying at this point. We'll pass. We need a land. Hydroelectric Bolt. Thunder Trap, which means they could have a flare now. So we definitely want to go Myco. Untapped land. Shit. Well, we had 2 draws, 21 hits, and we failed on both. We'll pass. And pass. Seagate. Attack for 1, down to 17. Untapped land, please. Well, better late than never, I guess. Land. Imprint the Breaker. Unless you have something you want to do about it. So, what are we worried about here? A lot. So we could either A, Myco Spawn to Ghost Quarter, hit a land, right? That leaves him with 5 mana to work with. Alternatively, we could hold up K Command for Tameshi. Mind you, this is assuming that they don't have a flare that they can sacrifice the trainer to. Not to mention, with Bloom, an untapped land, they have enough for Belcher by itself. We'll Breaker, and I think our best bet is to cast Myco for a Ghost Quarter. If we had seen that lab a turn sooner, we'd be in such a better position. So, Ghost Quarter. Does the body hit the board? I'm going to say probably. I'd be surprised if they flare the body. There's no real reason to. Opponent's thinking hard, though. Why? The body hits board. We're going to phase change. No attacks. End step. Ghost Quarter. Target the Seagate. And pass. There's Whir. So that means that they're going to have access to 8 mana, which will be more than enough for Belcher. We'll pass. Do you have Belcher? Land for turn. Bolt. There's Belcher, and we'll scoop. Oofta. Belcher Belchin. And any surprises here in the 47? No. Pretty standard. Okay. So we're going to want Flute in, Dismember in, K return out, Speaker you stay. K return out, but Jukabog is potential, Counter Souls, Gemstone out, Ugin, Blue Belcher. What's their counter magic look like at this point? Let's see. 4 Disrupting Shoals. So I definitely want Bobble. 2 Negations. 3-ish Flares. So Bobble seems right. I'm thinking trim another Ugin and run it back like that. Yes. I guess actually, didn't I create Belcher? Bring in Bauble, Flute, Dismember. Yep. And then Sire, Rumble, K-Return, Bog. Maybe. Might adjust that. I think Ugin's probably worse in this matchup overall rather than Sire. Sire at least presents a clock. Yeah, something like that. On the play for game 2, there's an early Bobble and a Rumble. So Bobble, search, Rumble on 2 to try and find some acceleration for Maiko. Doesn't look like they sometimes play an island in the side. Not always, but definitely sometimes. I think it's appropriate, but we'll see. So reveal 1 or 2. We have 8 hits. We want a soul land. So 8 hits, 4 deep is pretty reasonable. 8 hits, 8 deep is pretty hard to miss, but there is potential that we hit multiple soul lands that we'd rather see off the Rumble, for example. Reveal 1, trigger. Also going 8 deep risks us seeing a Ghost Quarter, for example. Opponent's Tinkin. What say you, friend? What is Belcher's play rate right now? 2.4 across 30. 2.9, 14. And 5.7 in the last 7. Starts making me think maybe I should run a second Ghost Quarter. Damn. Well, we'll grab the lab. Stomping Ground, Shock, Bobble, pass, and pass. So we're looking for another Soul Land here. Lab. Devour Imprint. Rumble. We whiff, but we see a second MTGO. I'll grab the second MTGO. And we'll pass. So we definitely want to see a Soul Land off the top. Yeah, I mean, I could easily trim an Ugin for a second Ghost Quarter, honestly. We'll draw. Sprawl. Windswept Teeth, fetch. For a forest. Sprawl. For green. Cast MTGO. Yield all. It is a consign to memory. It is a consign. We'll pass in full. No attacks. Next turn we can kick our second MTGO spawn. Bloom to 1. Tapped land. We draw. Forest. We play. And kick. MTGO kick. Target the plaza. Plaza down. Grab the Ghost Quarter. And go to the beginning of your upkeep. Blue. Gifting me a fish, eh? Oh, damn. I will Ghost Quarter target the lab. Fails to find. Do I crack the bauble at this point? Honestly, it's tempting. I will let it go. And at this point, we'll pass in full. There's the bloom. You have a Belcher. So now I need a flute. I need a breaker. We'll draw. That is a temple. I guess they aren't able to activate it yet. So we have time. So how would we like to proceed? Let's go to combat. Attack for 4. Plays the temple. Cast Devour. Devour target the sprawl. Yield all. Cast the bauble. And pass. Alright, opponent. Now it comes down to how quickly... Yeah, I was about to say, how quickly can you belch before I kill you? Opponent says, not fast enough, and we'll get the win. Gemstone in, rumble out, and run it back. Yeah, if they had a Tameshi, we were pretty much out there. Hmm. Trying to think if we saw anything different or unexpected. I mean, Into the Football is to be expected. We'll be on the draw for game 2. We have plenty of hits here. We will keep. I'll pass in full. So we have Speaker, Myco, Ice Till, Rumble. We'll draw. K Command. That's not any of those. Sprawl. Green. Do I not like 3-ball in this matchup? Not really. I mean, the only thing that's truly affected by 3-ball in this matchup is Lotus Bloom. Because, I mean, they can whir 0 and still get their bloom. So, yeah, if they suspend it, it's a bit unfortunate. We're hitting nothing but bricks. Alright, we still have a chance. Might go spawn off top, but even then right now, we're kind of in trouble. Bolt. So they have a whir. Draw. Jesus Christ. We drew nothing but bricks here today. Talisman. Temple. Pass. Whir. Yep. And it's going to be GG's. We had so many potential hits off top. 4 for Myco, 6 including Speaker, additional 2 for Ice Till to 8, 11, no, I'm sorry, 12 Rumble, 16 for K Command. Yeah, we had a lot working for us here. We just didn't see it. So the question becomes, do they have the Belcher? Tameshi, target. Though it might not matter because of the Seagates. So Seagate will be able to draw them a ton of cards. At this point, they know... well, I guess they don't know if we have no interaction. We could be representing Flute, right? We could be representing Flute. There's Teachings. That's right. Yeah, Teaching should get them there. Teachings were Belcher. 5, 7, 10, 10, 9, 12, 12, 11, 14. Yes? No. Yes, I think that is correct. I think that math does work because 4 for Teachings down to 10, 7 for Belcher down to 3. Activate Belcher. Yes, they can. Obviously, it does put them at risk of a Flute. Oh, they just have the Belcher. So yeah, even if we had the Flute here, I think they still have it. Let's concede. You got it. Oofta. Oofta, oofta, oofta. Like, maybe I could have mulligan more aggressively. But, like, we had 16 hits off the top that would have been very strong. Especially on the play. I guess we're on the draw, actually. Even still. I just didn't see anything. Unfortunate. Regardless, we'll be back for match number 5. Alright, and we're back for match 5 on the draw for game 1. Forest, Young Wolf. Okay. Temple, pass, hold. Snow-covered waste tells me it's Broodscale. There's K Command, Super Shredder, Super Shredder. So this is Golgari Brood. Interesting. Chooses the Llanowar Wastes. Interesting. So, how would I like to proceed? We could A, Rumble, or B, Temple Hold Up K command. I'm going to Temple Hold Up K command. I think that is probably the safer option. This is Golgari Brood with Super Shredder. Whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter. I feel like that's worse than, was it Leonardo? For the white splash. There is Flesh Raker. Flesh Raker will resolve. Casting Blade. Blade will resolve. We'll take the damage. They're going to go to combat. I think I take the hit from the Young Wolf at this point. End step, K command, ramp, and scry draw. Devour, forest. We care not for either of these. Bottom, bottom, draw, speaker. We'll draw sire. I will play forest. Myco Kick. Myco Kick hit the Land War Wastes. Yield all. Next question becomes, do I want to grab, let's say, a fetch into stomping for a rumble? Maybe. Probably is not a bad idea. The alternative is to go for a temple, of course. If I go for temple, we'll have access to 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, not enough for Emrakul. Broodscale, though, doesn't play many basics. How many do they normally play? Like 3, maybe? Like, I have half a mind to Ghost Quarter, but I think I'm going to go fetch and then shock Rumble. At the very least, no, we'll go fetch. Debating whether or not to fetch shock or fetch for a forest. I'm just going to go forest. Blade trigger. There's another Myco spawn. There's an Ice Till. We'll grab the Myco again. And pass 6 types in yard. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We are 3 short of speaker into Emrakul. Cavernosoul's name Eldrazi. And Imagine. So at this point, if they do have the Broodscale, they win. I was hoping that I might just keep them short. Chooses human. What? Rumble. Rumble finds Agisoul. Chooses Agisoul. Trigger Flash. Casts Agisoul, I'd imagine. So human would have to be for Super Shredder. Blade trigger. There's Super Shredder. Walking Ballista. Triggers Flash. Oh, interesting. Triggers Super Shredder. So now they can Agisoul the Ballista, which turns Super Shredder into a Ballista. Do they win? Oh, they do. And the reason why they win is Young Wolf. Oh, I was trying to figure out how this works, but that makes sense. Wolf Ballista. Wolf then becomes Ballista, removes the counter, pings me. Super Shredder pings Wolf, and then triggers Shredder. Rinse, repeat. Fascinating. We will concede. Okay. Yeah, it is very build your own Broodscale. Fascinating. Okay. So, I don't even know if this version of Broodscale runs Emrakul. So, that's the question I now need to ask myself in sideboarding. Can I cut my Bajuka Bog? Because I see a list for Selesnya Broodscale, Simic Broodscale, but Golgari Broodscale, I don't have a list to reference. So I'm kind of left guessing based on only what we saw. Yeah, I mean, given that they play Soul Cauldron, probably do want to have Bajuka Bug. You're probably correct. But yeah, no clues on how this is built. So we're gonna want removal. That much is clear. Cavern of Souls is out. Gemstone is out. I don't know how many basics they play, but we still probably want the Ghost Quarter. I would say Ugin's not doing much here, so we'll trim on Ugin. And we need to make room for one more card. So, honestly, we could just trim all of the Ugins. We could just trim on a K return. They could do 4 basics, yeah. 3 forest, 1 waste. But just for the sheer fact that they do have the option for Saga, we do want Ghost Quarter to stick, probably. Or Ghost Quarter to stay. We'll drop a K return, I think. Trying to think if there's anything else I would drop here. Maybe an Ice Tail. I'll run it back like this. On the play for game 2. That hand's hot garbage. It's only made redeemable by a lab, and that's about it. We mulligan. I mean, we can work it. We would want a K command. What would we pitch? Speaker or breaker? Otherwise, just a forest to forest equivalent for speaker on 2 would work. Do we pitch the lab? I want to keep the dismember. Let's pitch the lab. Reveal Devour. Opponent plays Gemstone to accelerate. Pitching what? Pitching Cavern of Souls. Trigger. There's the K command. Lab. Imprint Devour. And pass. Hold Dismember. No Flesh Raker. We'll draw. Play Temple and hold. I could have a Seiju on 2, theoretically. K command X1. Looks like K command X1. Yep, that will resolve. One bottom, one top, or one bottom draw. We'll pass. I mean, we have the Dismember if they try and go for a Brood here. But they do not. End step, K command, ramp and scry draw. And done. Heat Temple. I want none of that. Like, normally I'd love a temple, but I need a green source here is what I need. Heat bottom, temple bottom, draw. Still need a green source. I was thinking like 3 deep we would see it. Draw. Sprawl. You have to be joking me. Opponent, do you want to Beseiju me? That would be helpful right now. We'll pass. I was thinking 3-4 deep, we might see a green source, but no such luck. Another K command? Yup. I guess they could assume that we also have a K command primed. K command X3. Well, at the very least, this version versus the Celestia ones I've seen are running temples and K commands. So I would be inclined to believe that opponent is also playing Emrakul. I'd be more surprised if they weren't. 3 top, 0 bottom draw. Well, that's concerning. We'll hold, but I'm not liking our position right now. 3 mana for Sephiroth. So this really is leaning into Golgari, because we played and tested a very similar Golgari list with Sephiroth. We didn't play Young Wolf, though I guess we did make one version with like a Yogg scale version, but Sephiroth will land. Imagine sacrifice a token. Sephiroth is a 5/5 when flipped. We'll lose some life. We can dismember Sephiroth. Okay. So, to remind myself, it was the 4th time. That's only 3. So I'd need another creature to sacrifice. Four mana is a 3rd K command. Could also be Fleshraker into... Nope, it's a 3rd K command. In response... So if this is the 4th time this ability has resolved this turn, transforms Sephiroth. So I'm pretty sure I want to dismember Sephiroth now. Sephiroth down, we'll pass. Bottom draw. Can I find a green source? Blade. Okay. We draw. To be fair, I did not specify that time what that green source would be. So we can rumble. Or we can speaker. Neither's great in this exact moment in time. If I were to play speaker and I were to... No, I think we have to go rumble. Let's go rumble. Try and find a land. Rumble. Oh, that is a land, and that is a K return. Talisman. Oh, not talisman, lab. Lab imprint. Do we want to imprint the breaker, actually? Yeah, we'll imprint the breaker just to represent that we could have a K command X3. Ideally, what we want to do is lab return breaker and sweep the board and get rid of the blade. That is if we're not just dead to the brood. That is Soul Cauldron. Okay. That is Brood. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, we're in trouble if they have a payoff. Because they can sacrifice a spawn, equip Blade to Brood, and then target Sephiroth in Yard to get Brood a counter. If they target my Breaker, I'm going to return it to my hand. Oh, well. Yeah, you got it. We'll concede. Yeah, don't even need to worry about it. Oofta. Oofta, 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 oofta. Oh, well. That's unfortunate. I feel like the majority of our losses there were close. I will say our loss to Energy in 2 was pretty rough. Felt like opponent had all the answers at all times. Our Belcher loss, our red Belcher loss rather, was tough. That game 3, our opponent just found the right card at the right time to give their dragon first strike to get around our Cyrus 7 death. Blue Belcher. Blue Belcher was variance in 3, a strong game 2, and a rough game 1. Broodscale. Yeah. I just did not know the lines that they could work with Super Shredder, and they were able to make it work. Unfortunate. But sometimes win some, sometimes lose some. Overall, deck is still performing well, 54% win rate. So I can't complain in that regard. I will say, as far as like meta decks are concerned, the 2 losses to Belcher definitely did hurt. Not below 50% for the meta decks, basically anything above 3% play rate as of right now. And normally looking at the last 30, 14, and 7 to get a good read on that. I think Wan Chi Tong may have fallen out of that range. So I might be able to take that off of the meta deck check for now. Because Belcher definitely is in that range at 5.7%. And yeah, Wan Chi Tong did fall off, so if we don't account for Wan Chi Tong in the current meta decks, let's see what our percent looks like. 50.9, so 51%. Still not great. Not where I'd like it to be, more accurately. But as I mentioned before, I have been playing less Magic, and that definitely is influencing the overall appearance of the deck, but I do still think it is a good choice, especially with Energy still being 20.8% of the meta, Blink being 12.1%. Especially for RCQs, there's going to be a lot of Energy. Someone did a RCQ week 1 analysis, and Energy was, shockingly, one of the most played decks. So I think something good into Energy is just a good choice overall. And with Energy having a high meta share, both online and in paper, I think E-Ramp is still a good choice in that regard. So we'll have to think about that a little bit more, especially as Belcher does see an increase in play rate. Maybe want a second Ghost Quarter again, as it does hit Belcher, it does hit Tron, so things to think about. Zoo also looks like it's been increasing in meta share from like the low 3s now up to 4.3, so there's a thought to maybe even bringing back Chrysalis potentially. But regardless, that there will be the end of today's YouTube video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button, comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback. Be much appreciated. For as much that I hope you all, for as much I hope you all learn from me about my success and failure, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you're enjoying the video and haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button as we continue to grow this channel. However, if you would like to watch this videos recorded live over on Twitch, you can find me there at insert time here. I would recommend following me on my socials, whether that be Twitter, Blue Sky, or joining me on my Discord server so you can be notified when I go live. Otherwise, you can head over to my Patreon, where you can find his videos ad-free and early. That being said, though, folks, I will see you next time. Bye-bye!